Welcome to Uncommon Sense, where it's a common sense conversation about uncommon sense situations right here on SenseUX.com and also thetruevision.net. And I'm here with my boy, the one and only Michael B. Wright Sr., the one and only. How you doing, brother?
I hope it's good, my brother. I hope it is one and only. I hope ain't no more out there.
Well, you know, that's a right now. I don't know.
The world can't take two of this right here, boy. The world just ain't ready for two of these.
They can't, bro. They can't. No Big Brother Mo better. They can't take.
They can't handle it, boy. They just can't handle it.
So what's up, Big Brother Mo better? What's going on with you, man?
Oh man, still trying to stay black and proud in America, brother, and just make it through the day. That's all I can do right now.
I know that's right, bro. Right? Staying black and proud in America now.
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure no ICE agents outside my car. You're looking for me.
That's why you on a.
I gotta make sure my green card is location. You know what I'm saying? Undisclosed. You have no idea where I is, okay? But I gotta check my green card, you know, my Social Security card. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Still legit.
There you go.
Still legit.
Still legit.
Yeah, but man, it's good. Just still, yes, man. It's good to be alive, man. That's all I can say. It's good to be alive and make it do what it do. You know.
So, brother, right? I sent out a post earlier today about the show. Talking about we got some news distractions, but we also got the real news that's going on, that's happening. So we're here to tell about the real news. We're not here to give the fake news, but the real news, or the real news about the fake news. How about
that? Oh, you got to, man, because again, they throwing up as much smoke as they possibly can, so you won't pay attention to the fire. You know,
bruh, what?
That's what they are. This is a smoke screen like you can't believe, man. So you won't pay attention to the fire behind the scene, bro.
A big smoke screen, Doc. A big smoke screen,
bro.
You know, and the agenda is like, what is the agenda? You know. And that's the first thing we want to cover. What is the true agenda of this Trump administration here? You know, and we got to cover that. Because, man, this is something. All the stuff they're doing now, what I hear, Brother Wright, that in 2021, that JD kind of gave the president a little insight of what he should do when he gets in this office. And you know, as always, I got that wonderful beam footage for you. And here we go.
Run it for me.
I think that what Trump should do, like if I was giving him one piece of advice, fire every single mid-level bureaucrat, every civil servant in the administrative state, replace them with our people. And when the courts, because you will get taken to court, and then when the courts stop you, stand before the country like Andrew Jackson did and say the Chief Justice has made his ruling, now let him enforce it.
That part right there.
That part.
Yes. Is that going on now? Is that
what's going on right now for the show?
For the show, bro. For the show.
Yeah, man. This is definitely for the show, man. But if you remember now, the first term, was unfortunately not too long ago. You know, they really tried to reshape the judiciary as far as judges, Supreme Court, They really tried to reshape that bad boy, man. And so now we are here. But you know, like you said, Vance laid it out, man. He gave the plan, and your boy is trying to run that sucker like a mug.
Well, you know, he understood that he had to have his people in place in order to do so. Because he couldn't have the old guard there.
No, he couldn't.
Yeah.
So that's why your inspector generals are gone. That's why, again, your department treasuries are gone. I mean, if you look at all the heads, man, and FAA is gone, that all those cats are no longer in position, man, and we have not been heard as folks who are going to replace them. So again, you just go in and wipe the slate clean. But again, you're going to try to fill these positions in less than 3 years. How?
How?
That's all I need to know is how and who. That's all I need to know, man, is how and who.
And the next question is, should the federal judge be able to interfere with Trump's executive order?
You think?
It should, right? Because can he fire a federal judge?
Try it. Try it, Cleveland.
Try it, player.
Like Grandmama Clump said, you walking over, but you limping back.
So let's go to the beginning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, Donald Trump is not a graduate of Yale Law School, or of any law school for that matter, but he does agree that this judge should not be allowed to stop him.
When a president can't look for fraud and waste and abuse, we don't have a country anymore. So we're very disappointed with the judges that would make such a ruling. No judge should frankly be allowed to make that kind of a decision. It's a disgrace.
Guys, they are not being subtle at all.
No, they're not being subtle at all. Okay.
And neither are they.
Right. Exactly.
And neither are they.
Now, you got a convicted felon. Talking about he looking to cut waste out of the government. Are you serious?
That he put in there.
That he put
in there. Man, come on now.
Come on now.
But again, what you got now is a battle of the branches, man, between the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. So this is what you got, bro. Checks and balances. Now, like I said, check them in balance as it relates to the executive and the legislative, but that judicial, they're trying to toe the line. They're trying to toe the line. And they trying. I don't know.
Well, see, this is the thing. They want to get so much stuff bogged into the legal system with the judicial branch to where the judicial branch can't handle all of the requests that's coming at them. So they have to pick and choose which one is more important. And that could be a problem.
It's true a problem because everyone he done signed, man, done found himself in court. I mean,
right.
Every last one of them,
every last one of them,
they done found themselves in court. And again, when you start dealing with this environmental issues, when you start talking about drill, you know the environmental is going to be like, come on, player.
Come on now. Come on now.
We ain't doing that, player.
We ain't doing that right there.
I mean, you're talking about the traffic through court, man, it's going to be like something serious, bro. This is at a whole new level.
Whole new level,
man.
Now, the question was, is Trump being defiant against the federal judges? What he's doing with these executive orders?
You think?
Yeah, I think so. But some of these MAGA, people might not.
Oh yeah, they love this, man. Because again, but see, problem now again, this is the problem that folks are not paying attention to. You let this man pull that line as long as he wants to. You're setting a precedent for whoever comes after this cat. So what I guess the thought process is, they're going to be someone that succeed this cat just as he is, or just as they want the line to go.
Right.
Problem with again, man, is that might not be the case. You might get somebody who is more astronomical dumb as he is, and behind the scenes, and so you're going from bad to worse.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how far they're going to let this thing roll, but again, man, whatever you set as a precedent, man, becomes again the backdrop of whoever wants to come behind and do whatever they want to do.
Right.
You can't just, because again, now if you try to throw somebody who's a convicted felon can't run for office, well, you got one up there that got 34 counts.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
What you gonna say? So yeah. I'm like, okay, all right. So it's a double-edged sword, man. Again, you can let them run what you want to. You can try to push the envelope as far as you want to, but again, this sucker has 4 years. Now I don't care how long you want to try to install the king in there. Not only does he have a lifetime, yeah, he got to deal with, because that man is in his 80s. He already crazy. So we already know where this is going.
Exactly.
As far as term durations, man, unless you change the Constitution, that can't run again, man.
Right. Exactly.
Again, he trying to start a war, man, so he can stay in that, just like your boy Bush did. So it's the same game. It's
Yeah.
the same game.
Same game. Same game. But here's the beautiful beam footage right here, Brother Wright.
Today, a federal judge ruled that the Trump administration has been violating a previous court order to lift the blanket spending freeze on federal grant programs. To put it plainly, the Trump administration froze spending. A judge told them to unfreeze it. And according to this judge, they didn't. And that kind of puts us in uncharted territory. In fact, some Democrats and legal experts say it leaves us smack dab in the middle of what they're calling a constitutional crisis. And look, I know phrases like that can sometimes sound vague and abstract and academic. But as I said, this country relies on a system of checks and balances between three co-equal branches of government for good reason. So when the Trump administration ignores that principle, when it defies the judiciary and dares the courts to enforce their orders, it is threatening the Constitution itself, hence a constitutional crisis.
Right there.
That part.
So they told him to unfreeze it. And they didn't, they left it frozen.
That part.
That part right there.
Because again, man, you got those architects behind the scenes who pushing Project 25 that believe that the the office of president, man, has this unlimited power that is unchecked as far as who the president is.
Right.
So that's what they're trying to do. That's what they want, man. So that's why they're doing it, because the folks behind the scenes are the ones who think they can. And you keep putting folks in there like a hex F, and if you put your boy Patel in there as far as the FBI, you already got Bundy in there as it relates to the Department of Justice. So you see where it's going.
Yeah,
you see what it's going, man. I mean, like I said, Ray Charles can see this, he dead and blind. So I'm like, so Ray like, man. Ray like, boy, y'all better do something. Ray like, it ain't really good for y'all up there, boy. So yeah, man, they don't stack the cards. But again, the danger of this, man, is definitely you're setting a precedent. So I'm not sure how far the judicial is going to go as far as enforcing things, because they can.
Right.
They really can push the envelope if they want to.
If they want to.
They can. They can hold that whole goddamn, as far as DOGE, they can hold them in contempt, man.
Exactly.
They the ones that got it. So it depends on, again, if you got a judge that has enough gumph to do that. Bring them all and hold them in contempt, man.
That's if you have a judge with enough gumph to do that.
That's all I'm saying, man. I'm hoping somewhere in there it's somebody that got it. Somebody that got it. You know, but
and
again,
just before we went on the air, they went ahead and reject the appeal from the Trump administration by them freezing those funds. So they got to unfreeze. They got
because again, man, here's the problem. This is why I have a problem with your boy Johnson and everybody else who's up there hollering about waste and da. The budget that those departments have are set by Congress, and once the president signs off on it, man, it's a law. It's congressional law.
Right.
So it is said that the president got to spend based on what Congress passed.
Exactly.
So my confusing part is, in my small little brain, if you're talking about waste and you know all this stuff, but y'all the one that passed the bill and passed the budget, then you fucking about the very thing you passed. You know, that's how I'm thinking. That maybe my thinking is off.
Right.
You know, maybe I'm not thinking like they think. So maybe you need to educate a brother, because maybe my process of thinking is off.
Well, see, he has to wait until the next term, and when they vote again on the budget, to be able to interject to where they can, you know, revote or they can put the new budget to invoke. Which he already has, because he wants to increase the debt ceiling.
And so they got to find some money.
Yes.
So it did. Ding dong. Ding dong.
That's how you get DOGE. That's how you got them in there.
I'm telling you, man. So this is too easy. I mean, the only way you're going to fund what you're trying to get through a Congress, you got to find the money. And the only way you can find the money is take back what you have already distributed. So that's what the problem is, man.
Okay, right. I haven't been in the, the government funds or anywhere. I done found the money already. Found right? The money.
Oh God,
it happens to be $20 billion worth.
Right there with your boy.
Yeah, you take them contracts away from Elon Musk, there's your money.
Man, he's still getting contracts, man. Air Force, national security, all that stuff, man. He's bringing it in,
man.
So the one that you need to be cutting is the one up there sitting up there trying to cut for.
The main thief in the house. Oh, did I say that? Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Let the Lord use you. You know what I'm saying?
But now I got some wonderful beam footage from former federal judge Nancy Gardner. She talks about how Trump is really being defiant and what we really need to seriously, be on the lookout for, because this is not normal whatsoever what is going on right now. And of course we know it's not normal, but it's the scary part of why it's not normal in this country, because this is ridiculous right here. How you just gonna just up and just freeze funds that's been approved? How you gonna do that?
They think they can.
Starting us off tonight is retired federal judge Nancy Gardner. After retiring from the federal bench, she became a professor at Harvard Law School. Judge Gardner, thank you so much for taking the time. You're the perfect person to help us make sense of what is happening here. So let me just start with what we saw today, because for the first time, we saw a federal judge accuse the Trump administration of defying a court order. And the judge said the White House has not complied with an order to release federal funding that it had frozen. I just want to pause on that because it feels to me, I'm not a lawyer, I'm certainly not a judge, feels very significant to me. But you were a federal judge. What do you think?
I think it is significant, but your introduction was suggesting that there's something very academic about it, and it's really very, very straightforward here. Trump had a lawful way to do all of this. Yeah, he had a lawful way to do all of this. He has the Congress. There are steps that one can follow. There are rules to be followed, and all he did is completely ignore that and ignored his own Congress, which is really something that should give all of us pause, and issued these executive orders, which Dahlia Lithwick describes as like letters to Santa. They were badly drafted, and half the time, he didn't have the authority to do it. When a federal judge issues an order, the federal judge is making a determination for a preliminary order that there's a likelihood of success on the merits, so it has to be a strong case. Judges don't do this out of the air. And furthermore, that there has to be irreparable harm. And the notion that judges across the country have done this really should give this government pause, that they have done what they've done is not just mildly illegal, but very, very illegal. And judges have recognized that. To your point about this comment about, how federal judges have no business dealing with legitimate executive actions, as you said, legitimate is the point here. What they are doing isn't even close to legitimate.
It's not even close to legitimate.
That's what the baby said.
That's what she said, Doc. Did you hear her say it's like his executive order is like write the letter to Santa Claus?
The Santa. The boy. Now, again, man, when somebody look at your stuff and say that, man, like, God dang. I feel some kind of way.
Right? I was like, what?
I don't feel some kind of way if somebody say I wrote a letter to Santa.
Right, exactly. Oh,
they
boy.
Yeah. But again, man, you can't make this up, man. But again, if you follow the Yellow Brick Road and you're dealing with the situation, it's your boys behind the scenes. It's your Stephen Millers. It's those cats that's writing this stuff up, bro, that was already pre-scripted before Trump got in there. Which is Project 25, and it totally goes against Constitution and the law. It's what they want to insert. So again, we're back at the same crossroads: is who's writing this policy, Where's it coming from? You know, and this cat again doesn't even know what he's signing, bro. You know, it's just like you have no clue what's going on behind the scenes, dude. He just want to be heard.
Just want to heard. I just want to be heard.
He just want to be heard, man, and his name somewhere in the news. That's all that man wants.
He always showing it where he done signed something. Like, bruh, we don't want to
like
see it. We care. But look,
this is where we at.
Uncommon sense news break, okay?
No, yes.
Did you see Steve Bannon?
Oh yeah, they got him.
Oh, bruh, he said I'm guilty. He confessed, said I'm guilty. But guess what? He's still free.
And this surprises you?
No, not really. But they asked him. They says, okay, well, you've been let out on this, quote unquote, this unconditional, the same thing Trump was let off.
Yeah.
Okay. But then they said, well, how do you feel? I feel like $1 million.
Of course.
You didn't go to jail. Of course. You ain't gonna do no time. But for what he did, he should have done plenty of time.
Plenty.
But
different stroke for different folks, man. So here we are. But because now the question comes,
he did again, what was it? He took campaign funds and
he's siping funds like a mug.
Yeah.
He's siping money like a mug, man.
Yeah. And it meant that he did.
It was because he was probably having his money to build his wall down there in Mexico.
Yeah,
he was collecting funds for the wall. You know what I'm saying? And that money goes to not no wall, but his own in his house.
His own wall.
It wasn't no wall across the border. So that's what that is, Doc. And so again, Jay, we're saying that there is this thing of two justice systems, and the one that you in don't favor me and you at all.
No, not at all, bro. It don't favor us at all. Now,
I'm looking for you. It was never set up for you, no way. No. But I'm looking for your boy to pardon him. So 9 out of 10, he gonna scapegoat. But I don't know. Him and Trump ain't been really in the circles together. So we'll see how
they've been cordial, but they ain't been like we partners, you know.
Well. Yeah. But again, your boy got a new friend. He got Elon now. He got
yeah. He got a new playmate.
yeah. Batman and chose a new Robin.
Money than he had.
Player.
Come on now.
Player.
Come on now.
So Batman got a new Robin. So we'll see where it's gonna go. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like you can't make this stuff up, man.
Then Speaker Mike Johnson has the nerve to downplay all the disagreements that's going on in the Senate and also the House about Trump and what he's doing and his agenda. Now, come on, bro. They up there fighting each other. They about to go to blows. Really, they are. Because you sent me an article that says like they're at each other.
Because they confused.
What are we doing?
Because again, if you continue to give this man these kind of concessions, number one, they're all illegal. They are illegal. So you're gonna get backflap on that. The other part about it is the dynamics of things, if you quote unquote cross this guy, you might have an issue with you being reelected. So you're trying to save your seat. And so you have these conflicts behind the scenes that nobody really want to discuss. But the major thing about this man is, again, the stuff this cat is doing and what they're doing behind the scenes, man, is totally legal. That's the bottom line. And they know it. Right. But the moment they say it, the moment it comes from one of them that this mess is illegal, then you're going to have a real issue, bro. But they can't come out and say that, man. Which is an oxymoron, because if it was anybody else, they'd be off the rails.
Yes,
they'll be off the rails, man. Because again, to suspend funding that was approved by Congress, you can't tell me if Barack Obama would did something like that, man, that you wouldn't have an uproar.
Bro, what?
Come on, now you don't play with me.
Now.
So we know what is going.
We know,
but your boys, I don't know why they torn the line right now, man. Like I said, whoever behind that scene got a whole lot of money,
and a whole
and they got
a
whole lot of something on somebody to keep somebody quiet.
Because anytime somebody rise, it's just like they kick them back down. It's like, dude, what happened? Why you not saying nothing?
Again, because they can't. Because again, you've allowed this thing to go too far, and you have really been rendered ineffective. I mean, your Lindsey Graham, your Michael Johnsons, you pick one, Jim Jordan, all of them have rendered themselves ineffective in the conversation because you have flip-flopped so many doggone different times. I mean, people can pull up interviews where you saying that this ain't right, this ain't right, and then you turn around 2 seconds later and say it's okay if Trump do it. So I mean, you've been rendered literally ineffective. And so the people who are on Trump's side are saying, you know, basically you signed with the guy, so shut up. But then other folks on the other side, like, you came over here, but you didn't stay over here, so shut up. You know, so it's like, dude, you don't fit nowhere. Right. So it's that kind of dynamic, man, that you got going on. That's why you got this back and forth. Because again, those who are career politicians recognize and they know everything these folks are doing, man, behind the scenes is totally legal. They know it.
They know it.
And to give a civilian access to federal systems and programs, blanket now, you ain't got no guardrails on this cat, but you can send a 19-year-old and a 25-year-old up in there to dive into these systems that with no kind of guardrails, no kind of congressional approval. This is not saying these are what we're doing, Congress sign off on it, and we cool. No, this is you going there and just start doing all willy-nilly. Come on now. Nobody could do that, man.
Nobody. We found the air horn on that one.
Nobody could do that. So here we are.
Here we are.
So I'm telling you, man, those cats up there right now are literally ineffective.
Right.
And they do not know what to do.
No, they don't.
I personally feel sorry for them. No, I really do feel sorry for them.
But now this is what Trump said about the federal workers.
Oh, yeah.
He don't think a work at home program is viable for those who work for the federal government. So he want them back in the office. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, player. You just gonna say, I think they're better back in the office. Okay, what do you know about work in the first place?
That's of course I need to know.
Yeah. When
That's
did you ever work?
Not
many of those people, and we talk about reporting to work, right? I happen to be a believer that you have to go to work. I don't think you can work from a home. I don't know. It's like there's a whole big, you can work from home. Nobody's going to work from home. They're going to be going out. They're going to play tennis. They're going to play golf. They're going to do a lot of things. They're not working. It's a rare person that's going to work. You might work 10% of the time, maybe 20%. I don't think you're going to work a lot more than that. And I think they have an obligation to work, and they have an obligation not to have a second job when they're supposed to be working for the federal government. You're going to find that a lot of these people have second jobs instead of working they'll be collecting a federal government check, and they'll be working 2 jobs, and that's big trouble for them.
First of all, your name is not Massa, okay? Okay, first of all. Second of all, the government paid enough money for the people to work a government job.
That part.
Okay.
That part.
Look how much grocery prices going up. But you want to say they only should be working for the government. Really?
That part.
When y'all trying to cut the budget?
That part. And then you're gonna send them back to an office that you're taking all the offices away. You're killing the leases. So I'm like, where they gonna go?
Where they gonna go?
So, you can't make this up, man.
You can't make this up, man.
You can't make this up.
You can't make this up.
But when the stock market lost $2 trillion based on his announcement of the tariffs, he was out there playing golf.
Yeah, he was playing golf.
He was playing golf.
But he want everybody else to be working.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Come on now.
Like I'm saying, just make it make sense, and I'll be all right with it. But right now,
make it make sense. Say something makes sense.
Make it make sense, man.
Yeah.
But this, I'm telling you, man, this is where we are, and it's a sad state of affairs. This is where we are. When you can see the asinine,
yes,
of this individual, and then to do the stuff they're doing, like I'm saying, you told the government, as far as the officials, to kill all the leases as it relates to the building. So you got folks come back to work, but then again, where they gonna go when they come back to work? Second of all, you came out there with a buyout. So you tell them to come back to work. You can't pay for it. That wasn't approved by Congress. But anyway, so you're going to buy them out. But then again, if you tell them to come back to work, but then if they don't take the buyout, so it's like, well, if I come back to work, is the buyout effective? Or what am I doing here? Right. So again, it's the asinine of these particular things they're trying to throw out that nothing makes sense.
Right.
And at the end of the day, man, you're coming for people that, again, they at any kind of situation, man, they run the country. I mean, you're talking about folks behind the scene who gets these things through the paperwork. Now that may be some overlapping of positions. That's everywhere, and I do mean everywhere. So if you want to cut that, fine. Do a feasibility study and run it that way. But don't just go through that, man. And then, like the boys doing with the CIA, you going to now just give a battle to all the CIA agents that you got?
Say what?
What we doing there? And then you're going to do the same thing with FBI? What we doing there? So again, it doesn't make sense.
This is not Trump Towers.
But
this
is the
federal government.
Well, now again, like they told you, if he runs the government like he ran his businesses, he ran every business, every one of them. The steaks, the water, the shoes, the Bible. Pick one. Every businessman done had, he done ran
the coins.
And then the mitigated goal for this man to have Abraham Lincoln up there on a penny, on his desk behind him, but then to tell the Treasury to stop printing the pennies. See, that's hypocrisy. I bet if Lincoln can talk on that penny like, you mother. You mother.
I would slap your face about it.
Boy, Samuel Jackson there, you mother. I mean, you're gonna kill the man's penny. I mean, there's a reason why they put Abe on a penny there. That's kind of cold-blooded to put Abe on a penny. But anyway, they put Abe on a penny, but then you're gonna tell them to cut the penny from Treasury. And again, man, you're gonna have the man sitting up on the back of your manager. So that
don't even make sense.
Asinine from here to the front to the back, man.
Yeah. You had 41% of union members vote against themselves in 2024. When they voted for Trump, they voted against themselves, and they had no idea that they were voting against themselves because they didn't listen. The man said he was going to do it.
Yeah, he did. They did. Don't get disgusted, Jay. It's all right.
Bro. How can you really? Somebody they gonna tell you they gonna do it, and you still gonna vote for them, and you know it's gonna hurt you. Okay.
That part.
Let me run the beautiful beam footage because this is ridiculous.
These union members just lost the right to collectively bargain with their employers. Republican lawmakers in Utah voted to ban collective bargaining for public sector unions, despite thousands of calls and emails and protests in the state capitol. If HB 267 is signed into law, firefighters, police, teachers, nurses, and any other public employees won't have the right to negotiate as a union with their employers about things like pay, working conditions, safety policies, or benefits. So why the hell did 41% of union members vote Republican in the 2024 election, against their own interests? interests. We've seen Trump's anti-worker record.
If they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone, so every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest.
He's made it very clear that he doesn't care about workers. He cares about corporations. I'm reminded of what Lyndon B. Johnson said. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. Republicans have evidently done a decent job at convincing working people that their enemy is trans or an immigrant or black, and not the people who exploit their labor. They spent more than $215 million on anti-trans ads during Trump's campaign. They spent more than $263 million on anti-immigrant ads. And Trump constantly railed against DEI, suggesting it discriminates against white men. These wealthy Republicans used working people's fear to manipulate them into voting against their own interests. And sadly, a lot of people who didn't vote Republican are stuck in the crosshairs.
That right there.
That right there. So this is where the rubber meets the road, man. This is when this stuff starts playing itself out live and living color. And that's when that sting sets in, man.
Yeah, duh.
That's when the sting sets in. But again, man, they voted against their own interests, and it's because again of the ads. I mean, you run an ad that talks about DEI and you put it in black terms that they're hiring
in
people
black terms when it didn't affect us.
Didn't affect us at all.
No.
You know, so then they wiped DEI out the way. Well, when you did DEI, you didn't understand what DEI literally means as far as diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
See, it was never for blacks at all. And no. So that
so
yeah, so we wasn't too much moved about it because we never benefited from no way. So it was like whatever. But when you really look at it, man, the DEI that tapped a lot of your farmers as far as the equity.
Right.
You know, those small farms that's trying to get a leg up in it, but you got those big ags out there that they can run the gamut like they want to, like your Tyson, yada yada yada. Well, that equity was supposed to level the field between the small farmers and the big farmers. Well, now all those subsidies have been wiped out.
Yes.
Okay. So now the small farmers are like, oh my gosh, don't oh my gosh now.
But
farmers
wait a minute, didn't you vote for Trump though?
Keep that same energy. That's all I'm saying, man.
Energy.
Keep that same energy, player. What you doing?
That same energy.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Because I think you're gonna miss $81,000.
Oh yeah, player.
A year.
A year, player.
A year.
They slashing it, man. Woo. So again, all those subsidies, man, that benefited people from DEI, now you get rid of this slash, man.
Okay. Here's the beautiful beam footage on the farmers you own. And this is what they're missing right now.
Okay, this comment cracked me up. Yeah, exactly. Did you vote for Trump and now you're regretting it because his policies are hurting you too? Like Skylar, the cattle farmer, whose farm is going to lose $80,000 of Biden money that was promised to him because Trump and an unelected foreign billionaire, Elon Musk, are cutting all of this wasteful spending. I guess he didn't know how many farm projects were funded by USAID, by the EPA, that the E in DEI includes equity for small family farms, giving them grants and programs and funds so that they can compete with big ag. They wanted to vote to end DEI when they thought it just meant giving Black people jobs. And now they're finding out, first of all, the biggest beneficiary of DEI is white women, but also that equity means so much more, especially when it comes to family-owned businesses. Now that they realize the mess they've made, it's not too late for these folks to join the fight against fascism.
Know your definitions. Know your definitions. Because they just might help in a pinch.
Hallelujah. Boy. So I'm telling you, man, I bet a lot of folks, man, now be like, they crying right now behind the scenes. I'm like, keep that same energy.
Right. Could you imagine missing $80,000 because you made the wrong decision and go to the wrong person?
One vote, boy. And that money went out the door.
Yeah. One vote.
That, like I said, man, they got the sting. But again, when you're looking at, you believe the campaign ad, you believe a 20-second blurb, then you will believe what was in front of you right now. So I'm like,
You thought the black folks were coming up. And so you voted against us? Really? Okay.
I guess. I mean, when you look at it, man,
they were voting against us because they was like,
you know, we nowhere in that conversation, bro.
No.
And like they said, DEI benefited mostly white women.
White women, right?
That's from their own statistics, man. That we didn't put that out there. Okay, just be clear. We did not put that out there for an argument. That was based on y'all own statistics. DEI mostly benefited white women, man. Go figure that one.
But we got, man. But bruh, we got to get our black churches talking about fasting, DEI. Like, why? That's not us.
Because again, I can't see the word I'm trying to add. I'm gonna say it. You idiots.
you said I get paid tomorrow.
Boy, just like Fred Stafford said, you big dummy. You don't know what something is. And that's my problem, man, with these individuals who have these platforms. When you don't know what something is, when you don't do your homework, and you don't know what something is, then you have people who are being affected by these policies spinning around in a circle, you know. And at the bottom line is, if you're not telling folks systematically how to combat this and what this actually is, and this is how you come at it, that's how you get some traction on this, man. Telling somebody to keep going around that freaking mountain, you know. I mean, even God said to the Israelites, "You've been around this mountain long enough.
Go north."
Lord. I mean, when God tells you you've been around something long enough, I mean, that speaks volumes in your life.
Yeah, it should.
You know, for God to be like, okay, you've been around this sucker long enough. Let me show you where to go. Go north, okay? Just
go north.
Pick one. So that's where we are, dude. And again, the sad part about it is, even when you look at the Arabs, okay, and the moment that dude said Palestine is going to be a part of America, you know, now they changing the name from Arabs who support Trump to another pro-Palestine kind of. So you're changing the name now all of a sudden. But I'm like, keep the same energy. You voted for the boy,
right?
You know, you voted for him.
You voted.
So what you complaining about now?
Yeah.
What's your pushback? You know, even when you look at unfortunate immigrants, you know, same thing. You got people, Latinos for America, for Trump. You had it, and now this man is he is not coming at criminals because, again, you can't find him. He's coming at easy targets. He's coming at low-hanging fruit. People who go to work every single day, man, just trying to make a living. That's who you're yanking. That's who you're yanking, man. Yeah. And that's what they want. And so at the end of the day, it's the same kind of revolving situation. You vote against the interest because you believed a campaign. You didn't do your own research to see what really is. You believed a lie. So all I'm saying is keep the same energy.
Yeah.
Like your eggs. You know, I mean, this man said on the interview, and I'm giving this man too much energy, but this man said on the interview that he came up with the word groceries. Nobody was speaking about groceries until he said it. I'm not making this up, Jay. This is what this dude said, that he came up with the word groceries. I'm like, bruh, you don't know how long groceries have been in circulation. So whatever. But again, folks believe the hype about groceries, and now grocery prices have skyrocketed on this man.
Yeah.
And they got a rush on eggs at Costco and everywhere else. I'm like, and they limiting folks to a dozen eggs. I'm like, dude, this is not going to end well.
No, not going to end at all well.
Because when you start rolling out the dice and telling folks they can't buy more than this, see now we have a problem.
So, brother, also we had to kind of find something on the richest man in the world who's going through all the records of the country.
You found it, Jay?
You found it. I didn't find it.
No, it came
the
out
racist family legacy of Elon Musk. Let's run this beautiful beam footage because it's going to be kind of interesting right here.
Oh, boy.
This is a remarkable sort of measure of how the world has turned, that a nostalgic product of apartheid South Africa, Elon Musk, whose grandparents moved there after the Second World War. They were in the Canadian Nazi Party, his maternal grandparents. They moved to apartheid South Africa to be with people with whom they felt at home, a family legacy that he's not repudiated. That his mother very much carries on. If you've sort of caught her at all on TV, she turns up both sides of the Atlantic. She's a alt-right sort of unapologetic exponent of what her son is also pushing, and his algorithm is also promoting on his social media site. And this is far-right politics, hatred of multiculturalism. What he said to the AFD rally that he addressed in that sort of Orwellian big screen, his face comes up, and he says you should no longer feel guilt for what your grandparents or great-grandparents did. It was very clear what he was talking about in a speech that attacks immigration and multiculturalism, the idea that different races cannot live together. This is not something we should just dismiss as the sort of bloviation or the trolling of a sort of Silicon Valley tycoon. This is the sort of shadow president of the United States. And Trump doesn't contradict him, and sometimes Trump echoes him and amplifies him, and vice versa. I cannot stress the newness of this, and the ominous, so the tone of menace to this is very real. And it's being noticed, all around the world, including in allied countries that thought they were allies of the United States and are now beginning to wonder.
And silence fell over the internet. So that's what it is, man. And again, Jay, when you're looking at dealing with the issues of racism in the politics, when your boy Trump came out and talked about, again, killing USA, and he killed it in South Africa, talking about they were discriminating against the white farmers in South Africa. My question to be asked is, how does a country that is predominantly black discriminate against the colonizers who colonized South Africa? And then for that reason, they're trying to rectify what colonialism did, apartheid did to South Africa. Whatever parts they are. I don't know them as far as in depth, but they're doing that thing to correct some situations. So therefore, now you got a situation where you have a sitting president who's told by Elon Musk basically to cut off South Africa. And that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did, man. And again, this is where we are.
Exactly.
This is where we are. Exactly what he did, man.
Yeah. He cut off South Africa like that.
Because again, man, this is where the racism is. When you follow the money and you follow who's behind whatever dynamics are, cutting off this stuff, man, was nothing but racism behind the scenes. That's what it is. And this is why, again, that fueled this election. There was nothing behind this election but number racism. I don't care what kind of twist. That's all it was, man. I mean, when you had a president talking about they're poisoning the blood of Americans, this came out of Trump's mouth. That's the same stuff that your boy Hitler was saying when he said that, again, the Jews were poisoning the blood of the Germans. Same word, same dynamic. Nobody said nothing.
Nobody said nothing.
So again, when you listen to the rhetoric, and that's what I'm saying, man, when you learn the code words that people be saying, Doc, that part right there, it tells you their frame of mind and where they're coming from. And again, I could care less what folks say, man. I go based on what I see. And what I see here is this is nothing but racism, man, in live and living color. It's just not cloaked under MAGA. You will vote against Kamala Harris. And again, I have nothing against that bitch. I don't know the sister, but I'm simply saying, you voted against that sister only because she was that right there. She was a sister.
Right.
You can't blame her for Biden's policy because that was Biden's policy.
That was Biden.
You know, you can't blame the girl for the country because
then you try to bring on the carpet and say, well, where's your policy? She just got in the race 3 months ago.
That part. You know,
what kind of policy she's gonna have? She didn't know she was gonna run for president.
No, she did. That baby was a surprise, just like Biden was.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay. So they were doing that. All right, then. So this is where you are, man. I mean, so again, you vote against Kamala only because she was a sister. There's nothing that you could ding her on.
No,
because again, she was nowhere in the mix, which the vice president is not. You know, and so the dynamic of it is, if there was this give and take of having, you know, Kamala in the front, yada yada, they're bouncing around, and when we see, you know, her leadership skills, we're cool. But again, that was never afforded to Vice President Harris, never afforded to her.
No.
And so now, all of a sudden, 3 months or 5 months into the race, you're gonna throw that baby front line and center, and to compete with all of this mess is already out there. When this man done stirred up the hornet nest using all these code words to get, you know, Grandpa Jones, who ain't voted in election for 20 years,
right.
I'm gonna vote for my country and save my people. You know, that that mindset, you know, when you right there. Boy, when you croak up that right there, boy, you know, it wasn't an easy thing not to see that this is what it's gonna tilt, man.
Right.
But again, you are here. You have, again, these individuals. I mean, not only your boy Trump, but your boy Stephen Miller, your boy Elon Musk. You pull whoever you want to on the scene. They are all of that kind of mindset, man. And that's exactly what they're trying to institute.
Exactly.
You know? So you need to call a spade, man, and come at that sucker the way it is. This glossing over things and trying to be politically correct. I think them days are gone, man. It's
gone. Gone.
Yeah, but I mean, to do what they did in South Africa, man, and to use the terms that they did,
right?
You know, again, that South Africa's been discriminatory against their white citizens. I'm like, really? And
really?
How did you come to that conclusion, bro? Right. You know, and again, you have those individuals who the Dutch still believe that South Africa is theirs, and no, it's not. You know, no, it ain't. You know, but again, if you don't know your history and you think somebody plays out this nice little violin story, you know, they took my land, when you realize, no, baby, you took theirs. You know, you took theirs. And so even in this country, man, 98% of black farmers' land was snatched by white farmers,
right?
Literally because of the policies of the United States of these America.
Yes.
You know, and so again, when you look at some dynamics, you got some black families that be like, these folks are walking around on my mom and daddy's land. And it's the truth.
Right.
I don't care what you're saying. If you, because of your policies, you were able to gather this land in, you know, and basically run black folks off their property because they couldn't afford to run it anymore. You locked them out of the market so they couldn't get their stuff to the market, or you made the loan so doggone grossly, you know, devastated they couldn't pay the doggone thing back. You couldn't mechanize the particular land to compete with you. So you basically set up a situation where you would benefit from this.
Right.
And even your own government said, yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
I mean, but then you block trying to get this stuff back right with the black farmers. I'm like, dude, you can't make this stuff up.
Now you can make this up. Yeah.
You can make this up, man. And so, again, this is why my issue is with individuals who have this platform and they're not bringing credibility to the conversation, you know,
right.
Which is throwing out these little words, and you're not actually bringing the meat to the bone, man. So this is what this mess really is.
Right. You know? Exactly.
And so again, I know firsthand, man. I mean, I know firsthand of families who are living in communities, small town, rural communities, and they'll tell you, yeah, my family used to own that until, you know, and then they run the story, man, and you can see the pain in their eyes. And I'm like, dude, How do you combat that, man? How do you kind of twist that around? And you can't. I mean, and then when they see folks up there just pontificating over stupidity, see, that's why they're so disconnected, man. You don't know what you're talking about, man. And that's the problem I got, man. That's my kind of conflict in my mind. Is this is some real life pain, man. This stuff go deeper than just, again, your little social bite that you're trying to do. You know, the camera. It's deeper than that, man. And so honor somebody's struggle. Yeah, honor somebody's struggle, man. Honor that cat who, through situations that you couldn't even imagine, got 100 acres of land. You know, and then only because of certain situations, the system built against him, he lost it. You know, and then the family got to see what it does to him. That his mind, he loses it because, again, to get it and to snatch from you, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah,
don't realize that, man. Don't walk on that. That's all I'm saying, man. That's right. Just don't walk on that.
Don't walk on that, brother. Don't walk on that.
No. Don't walk on that. If you're gonna touch something, man, touch it right. Just educate yourself enough to address an issue, but address it from an intelligent place.
Right.
You know, and I'm cool with you.
Right.
But if you're just trying to get 5 minutes of fame, man,
come on now.
I can't respect that, bro.
No, I can't respect that.
I'm just sorry.
And brother, you know, this dude been talking about terrorists. We are terrorists this, terrorists that. But you gotta look at the U.S. brands as being owned by other countries.
Oh man.
Okay.
Don't do it.
I gotta do it, man. I gotta do it because this is ridiculous. You holler about terrorists, but other countries own these brands that these people that we buy every day.
Don't do it.
You about to be shocked right now here on Uncommon Sense.
These are American brands now owned by other countries. 7-Eleven is technically a Japanese company since 2005, which makes sense since the US just has 9,000 stores, while Japan has 21,500. Canada owns Popeyes, Burger King, and ironically American Apparel. The Texas-based oil company Citgo is actually owned by the Venezuelan government. And Budweiser from Missouri is now owned by Anheuser-Busch in Belgium. Dr. Pepper, Trader Joe's, Panera, and Krispy Kreme are all owned by German companies, one of them being Aldi, which owns Trader Joe's. Dutch car company Stellantis owns Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge, brands that many people would consider very American. And speaking of Chrysler, the Chrysler building in New York is owned by an Austrian company. Now, this one's tragic, but Ben & Jerry's, Vaseline, Popsicle, and Hellmann's Mayo are all owned by Unilever, making them British. Yeah, I know. And just to name a few, Chinese companies own IBM PCs, General Electric appliances, Hoover vacuums, Forbes magazine, and Milwaukee tools.
But you're gonna throw a tariff on everybody.
Everybody.
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Come on, man.
And Jay, all you buff people, all you people who work out and like to go to GNC,
yeah,
it's owned by China.
See, bro.
So yeah, all you good Americans that out there with the Milwaukee tools, you know, out there in the Midwest.
Yeah.
China.
Chinatown,
baby. So yeah, you making China very happy every time you holler Milwaukee. Yeah.
Wow.
You can't make it up, player.
Can't make it up, player. Well, Doc, that's Uncommon Sense for this Tuesday, brother. But man, oh man, what's so much information. And man, we just wanted to give the people what they need to make a common sense, not only conversation, but a common sense choice. All right. All right. Hey, we'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on SinceYouAsked.com and thetruevision.net.